Pogba dreams of Madrid, an actual exciting night of international football. Liverpool signed a new goalkeeper, a transfer roundup, and today's Friday Feels all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first off, and while speaking at a press conference on international duty with France, Paul Pogba has said that despite the fact he's a Manchester United player and wants to give everything to the club to help them improve, why not one day dream of playing for Real Madrid? And honestly, the transfer window's just shut. I don't want to talk about Pogba potentially moving yet again, so why on earth has he decided to do this now? I mean, 2 points here. Firstly, Pogba at Manchester United, at the moment, he's not really pulling his weight. He's not putting in top-level performances that are going to make Real Madrid want to sign him. He shouldn't be talking about moving to Real Madrid after his team just got banged 6-1 and they're 16th in the table. And secondly, Real Madrid, are they actually going to want to buy him? Yes, they do have an aging Luka Modric and they may sign him up to a new deal on a lesser wage. They've got Fede Valverde coming through. Casemiro's still brilliant. Kroos is still brilliant. And in an attacking position, they've got Odegaard in the centre as well as Isco and a few other midfield talents. Do they want to go and bring in Paul Pogba if he can't really put in the performances week in, week out in Manchester United? A few years ago, a World Cup winning Paul Pogba, a best player in the team at Manchester United, Paul Pogba, a consistently skillful and talented and showing it Paul Pogba, yes, by all means, that move to Real Madrid could be on the cards. But now, I'm not even sure they're going to want to spend any money on him. Of course, his contract does run out at the end of the season, and the French midfielder has said that there is currently no negotiations with Manchester United. So, if he were to sign the free transfer, I can see Real Madrid doing it. He's on a free, it's not much of a gamble. Yeah, they'd pay an astronomical wage for him, but Real Madrid are kind of used to doing that. That would be fine. But to go ahead and spend whatever Manchester United would want for Pogba, even in January if it's like 50 million, I really don't think he's worth it. Certainly not on current form, and he definitely, as I said, with the crisis at United, should not be talking about moving. But that just seems to be the way footballers work these days. Anyway, Pogba was talking on international duty because we're on the international break, and there was actually some exciting international football. My word. So first off, Scotland are through to the playoff final for Euro 2020 after beating Israel on penalties. Funnily enough, Scotland's first ever penalty shootout. A rather bizarre fact there. Second, and we will not have a Republic of Ireland versus Northern Ireland other final to get through to the Euro 2021, as it has now been rebranded, because the Republic of Ireland lost on penalties. Northern Ireland will now play Slovakia after beating Bosnia 4-3 in their penalty shootout, and all in all, it was a rather exciting night for all of the home nations as England beat Wales 3-0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Conor Cody and Danny Ings all got their first goals for England on the same night. This hasn't happened since 1963 in a game against Switzerland, which I'm sure we all remember so fondly. Anyway, for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, his 10th goal of the season already. It's such an amazing thing where he can just carry his form effortlessly into international duty. His first start for England, he's been on fire for Everton, and then just to go and nod it in so nonchalantly, what a top striker. Those you've been speaking about it recently, can Calvert-Lewin actually make it to the Euro 2021 squad? On this form, he's not just making the squad, he's challenging Harry Kane for the starting position up front. The guy is ridiculous at the moment. Having said that, make sure you watch out for loads of the UEFA Nations League football this weekend as well, because there's some absolute cracking matches. A few of them I'm going to be predicting in Friday Feels in just a minute, so make sure you stick around for that. But moving on, and to Liverpool, who have brought in a new goalkeeper, but unfortunately Reds fans, don't get too excited just yet, because he is a 17-year-old youth prospect called Marcelo Pitaluga from Fluminense. Now, he actually works with goalkeeper Alisson's brother in Brazil and was part of the under-20 squad which won the under-20 World Cup on home soil last summer, so he's got a bit of pedigree about him. Apparently Alisson went over to do a bit of work with him as well, a little bit of a scouting mission, decided he was good enough, and Liverpool have brought him in for £1.8 million. As I mentioned before, it's very exciting when you sign a good youth prospect, but there's no way he's going to be playing any games this season. He's going to be training with the first team squad, but playing with the reserves. At the moment, it's still going to be Alisson, and whilst he's injured, Adrian is still going to be the goalie in goal. Next up then, in a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news that you might have missed, and Arsenal are looking to enter contract talks with Mesut Ozil, but not to extend his stay, to terminate his contract early, because at the moment they're paying $350k a week for someone who literally just sits in the stands or sits at home. Elsewhere, in West Ham are still interested in signing QPR's midfielder Ryan Manning, who can also play at fullback as well. Ashley Young has said that he would leave Inter Milan, Italy and Serie A in a heartbeat if it meant that he could go back to Watford, the very first professional football club he played for. And lastly but not least, some good news for Barcelona fans. Marc-Andre ter Stegen is ever closer to signing a brand new deal with the club. New wages, new release clause, and a new amount of years all the way up to 2025. Lastly then, we come to this week's Friday Feels, and you guys know what this is. It's where you leave your footballing predictions down in the comment section below, and we read out a few of the correct ones on Monday. Now, of course, there's so many games going on, international friendlies, Europa, Nations League, all this kind of stuff. There's so much football to choose from, so let me know your thoughts. First off, as an England fan, I'm a little bit worried about the Belgium match. I'm going to go for England 1, Belgium 1. I think there's going to be an exciting game between France and Portugal in a 2-2 draw. And lastly but not least, a bit of women's football this weekend. There's a big clash between Chelsea women and Manchester City women. After losing 2-0 in the Community Shield, I think Manchester City are going to get a bit of revenge on Chelsea and win 2-1. So there you have it. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, your Friday Feels, your thoughts on the daily news, and absolutely everything else you guys want to type in, because why not? And before you all get to it, first, I'm calling it. I'm first in the comment section. Anyway, whilst you're at it, you can also smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys later.